Okay, today's original. Hello out there, I'm the oldest nerd. Today's episode has James Daly. He was once the senior doctor in Medical Center. If you remember that old 60s doctor show, Chad Everett played the young surgeon who went around and solved people's problems and occasionally performed medical duties. And James Daly was the older doctor. It was basically a rehash of Dr. Kildare, but that's how I knew who James Daly was before this episode began. Here he plays a very old person, thousands of years old, a human who calls himself Flint, who also was Brahms and Da Vinci and any number of people that he pretended to age and die off. Now, he is living by himself now, having decided that humanity just isn't worth it anymore. And he has a young ward, shall we say, by the name of Raina. And I liked a lot of what they did with this show. They wrote some extra music for it. They created some artwork that is very similar to the Masters, but not the same. They have Spock show that he is able to play the piano, has an appreciation for art, and a good eye for handwriting and things such as this. And McCoy is concerned, of course, about a plague that is aboard the ship, and they only have a number of hours before they can provide an antidote through something called Ritalin, which is in some abundance on this planet. And Kirk falls in love with Raina and doesn't give a flying flip about anything else. Oh, let everybody else on the ship die so I can go and snog with this woman. And I mean, even after they get the serum that they need, they hang around until they've solved the problem of what this girl is going to do. Now, give me a break. I really like the character of Flint. I liked the whole concept behind it. I liked everything except for the girl. They had to bring the girl in. Now, it's kind of something that drives the plot. He wants her to be able to learn more about other people and develop emotions. He used Kirk for this, but then Kirk gets all huffy about it. And frankly, they were using him in order to be able to get the antidote they needed to this disease, which after a time they really didn't care too much about. Oh, we got plenty of time. We can romance this woman here and just under the wire keep people on the ship from dying, as if there's actually a time clock going as to when people die. You know, whenever a epidemic comes around, people die at different rates. So, I mean, as soon as they could get something done, they could actually make some good out of it. And all of the time that they spend in delay could have some bad outcomes on some people, but they're one of the 450 on the ship that you never see, that cross the corridors from time to time, that don't have names. We don't care about them. We only care about the captain being able to get some romance in because he's the star. He's got to be able to have all the women fall in love with him. Like I say, other than that, and the back room, which Raina is not allowed to go, everything is labeled like in the Batcave. You know, I always thought about that in Batman, where they go in the Batcave and the Bat computer has a big sign on it that says Bat computer, and then they have over here is Bat pole. And I mean, why do they need to label it? This is a place that's secret and nobody else knows about it, but anybody who walked in would know exactly what everything was. And this is the same thing for this. Does Flint not know what's in his own lab? And so he has to put big signs on it. It's all for the cameras, and it's kind of clunky. And one other thing, a quotable line here is where Kirk is talking to Raina, and he says, "You're lonely." And she says, "What is loneliness?" Now, if she's never heard the word before, how can she conjugate it? It's my thought. Requiem for Methuselah. It is the 19th show of the 3rd season here on Star Trek, the original series. Fred Freiberger must have thought it was great, but frankly, I don't have much of an opinion of his taste. Nevertheless, I think that a rewrite could have helped this a bit. Once again, it didn't have to go directly into, Kirk falling head over heels like he does for everything else. And I mean, by the end of the episode, he's just absolutely broken up. He's had more serious romances than this and had less problem with it. I mean, he was under the Dolman, for instance, where he was under a magic potion and all he needed was his responsibility of the ship to snap him out of it. This one didn't do that. Some rewrites here would have helped. I think the Flint story was good. I think that the Rytellen story was good, but I think there were some real stupid things in there that needed to just be lined out or rewritten in a way that's a little more credible. So I'd like to know what you think. Please put it below. And if you have not yet subscribed, please subscribe and like, if you will. That will help us out and keep the channel going on. So thank you for joining us. We'll be back on Friday with our review of Babylon 5. And until then, don't go far.